Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy IK Enemkpali with Just Closed Property Solutions. I'm here during COVID times, and I'm here at my house, just bringing this video to y'all, just to give y'all some tips, and just wanted to reach out to y'all, especially individuals that feel like maybe they're in a situation where they know that their home may be some kind of burden to them somehow, some way, but they're on the fence of if they're going to weather the storm or if they need to cut their losses, right? So just want to give y'all some quick tips on how you can weather this storm, okay? So like I said, it's COVID. Unemployment's up. A lot of kids, schools are canceled. So kids are at home with their families right now. And I know just from speaking to people in the market that utility bills are up. Obviously, the kids are eating all the food and grocery bills are going up. And being that the way unemployment is right now, I know you might be feeling like you're in some kind of a pinch, and that's understandable. I mean, these are tough times. I don't personally believe these times will last for a long time, but I do feel like you have to be cautious and you do have to make the proper adjustments through these times, okay? And you also have to have like really real conversations with yourselves to figure out, like, moving forward, right? Is if don't fool yourself, like you have to really assess your situation, because there's a lot of stuff that's going on right now. Okay. So some people might feel like they don't want to fall in the temptation of what market conditions are right now. In some areas, no matter, depending on where you're watching this from, I'm here in the Austin, Texas market, born and bred here in Austin, Texas. And if you're in this market, you're feeling like, hey, you're going to weather the storm because you feel like on the other side of this, the grass is going to be greener. And, there's some truth and there's some validity to that, just looking at the stats. Days on market is still there. The inventory is still strong too as well. So there's still some validity to that. Average home price right now is actually increasing from 3 months ago. We're a little above 350 as of right now. So the average home price in Austin is still solid, right? It's still solid, but you have to assess your situation. Everyone's situation is different. Okay. Now, ask yourself a question. You have to ask yourself a real question. If you stay in your situation right now with your home, is your situation going to get better or is it going to get worse? Okay. That's the big question. Is it going to get better? Or is it going to get worse? You have to be brutally honest with yourself when you ask yourself this question. Things to look at is, I would look at your stability, right? Is your stability with your income, is it going to get better or is it going to get worse, right? And be honest with yourself. If you feel like it's going to get better, then that's a factor that weighs into your decision-making process. If you feel like it's going to get worse, then that's a big decision that's going to weigh into your decision-making process, okay? If you feel like it's going to get worse, your stability and your job stability is going to get worse, then you most definitely want to cut ties early. And the reason why is, if these housing prices drop right now in the investment world, right? So we buy houses to fix up, we renovate them, put them back on the market, we put renters in there, right? So we take a lot of risk when we buy these houses. But right now we're in a limbo. We're in a limbo right now as investors, because we don't know how this is going to go. Like, when forbearances get lifted and things like that, like, we're not going to see the aftermath until August, September, October, right? That's when we're going to see the aftermath of all that's happened throughout. So be honest with yourself early, because if cars don't fall into your place, you're going to be in a tougher situation. You're going to be in a tough situation because your home value is just going to start decreasing dramatically. I mean, it's going to happen fast, like overnight, right? So that's the first question you want to ask yourself. And you want to take into account the market condition and what's to come, right? Second is, look at the past. Like, your past can sometimes dictate your future. Like, in the past, if you've always struggled with keeping up with the maintenance of your home, keeping a stable job, keeping up with the mortgage payments on top of all expenses, right? If you feel like, the past, this would happen heavily in the past, and you feel like you're a little bit tired of that, and you know that you need to get in a better situation, right? Then you need to cut ties on time. You need to cut ties early. Is your situation going to get better, or is it going to get worse? Ask yourself that. Meditate on that. Pray over it. Those are questions you have to ask yourself. If you feel like it's going to get better, then cool. This may not apply to you, and that's completely fine. Or you may be in a situation where you just want to sell. Maybe you're going to prosper during COVID-19, and that's kudos to you. With the government giving away, stimulus checks and PPPs and SBAs and things like that, you might be in a situation to where you're literally flourishing right now, right? You're taking advantage of all this, and you're doing well, right? But for those that are not, and you're going through a tough time right now, we understand there's a lot going on right now. Be honest with yourself, okay? A little tip, forbearances, right? So, all right. So a forbearance is basically when you go to your lender and you ask for them to extend your mortgage payments, right? Obviously, they're going to tack it on to the back end. Interest rates will still apply and things like that. But they will basically waive your mortgage, right? They will basically waive your mortgage. Now, in order to get this forbearance, you're going to want to call your lender up, right? You're going to want to call your lender up, and it'll always help you out if you're going through a distressed situation. Just like any other time, these lenders, they're in the business of lending money and making interest on their money. So they want to be able to accommodate you as best as possible, obviously within guidelines and within reason. They want to be able to work with you and figure out, like, what can we do to make sure we get our money right. So if you're not really going through a tough time, it's going to be really hard for them to grant you that. But if you're going through a tough time right now, really explain to them, put it down on paper, and let them know, like, this is the situation you're going through. Push it through. But obviously there's going to be a process, right? In order to, every lender has their own process. So you want to reach out to your lender and figure out what their process is, right? But, having that letter that's going to make sure, and you just state on there kind of what you're going through. Maybe you're going through job loss. Maybe you had to relocate. Maybe your wife or spouse or something like that had a job loss and income kind of decreased, right? So, you want to explain to them what the situation is, okay, in order to put yourself in the best situation to alleviate and withhold some of that cash just to weather the storm. 'Cause that's what you have to do, essentially. If you're in a tough situation, you have to weather this storm. And getting the stimulus checks, the SBAs, the PPPs, these different programs the governments are giving out, apply. Do your due diligence. Apply to those, and make sure that you qualify, of course. But apply to those and see if you can't get any kind of assistance to weather the storm. Unemployment is also something that you should think about doing too as well if you have it. So getting that forbearance can buy you some time. It can buy you some time. It's not going to be a quick fix, but it can buy you some time. Now, if you're thinking about listing your property or selling your property through these times and trying to maneuver through these times, just to give you an insight about what's going on, though the market conditions haven't really caught up, lending has been really suppressed, right? So whenever I speak to my lenders weekly, right? So I speak to lenders weekly just to figure out what's going on in the market, right? Some of the biggest lenders out here froze lending to where they were not lending, some of the ones that I know locally, right? So they weren't lending at all. And that's a problem. That's a problem. There's no capital on the streets for investors to go out and buy these houses. That's a problem for you, the homeowner. It's a problem. Okay. That just kind of decreases the market, right? So lenders have gotten really, really strict on their lending guidelines. So in order for us to go out and get these loans, obviously they're wanting for us to be in more sure bets, safer bets, and things like that. But we're still our company, we're still trying to provide value. We're still trying to provide service for our customers, obviously with whatever's in reason given the market conditions right now. So when you're looking to sell, understand that lending has played a great factor. So even if when you're reselling it to as well to a consumer, they also have a big hurdle to get over as far as lending goes. Trying to show your house, right? Showing your house too as well during COVID is something that you also have to maneuver through. Obviously, there's really great agents out there that are accommodating people, obviously practicing social distancing, things like that. But not everyone has conformed to this. A lot of people have just decided to stay inside and not really to purchase now. So we're going into summer, and it's a great time for families to buy houses. Kids are getting ready to get out of school, which, obviously they've been home for months. The kids are getting ready to go out to school. People are looking to, buy houses in different areas, put them in better situations, things like that. So being able to have an agent that's going to accommodate is very, very important. And you yourself have to be able to accommodate as well. Now, with us, we're not asking for that. We just need literally 10 minutes to walk through there, and we're going to be able to give you an offer on the spot. So it's real convenience. And we've actually coined this thing. It's called the home selling process. It's going to pop up right here on the screen. It's going to pop up the seamless home selling process. That's what we coined, right? And the reason why we coined this was because our process is literally seamless, right? After we have an assessment call and we just figure out if we're a good fit for one another, and I mean on a personal level, like I'm not one of these investors that just throw out a number and say if you sign on a contract. No, I want to know exactly what's going on. I want to be able to know what's your goal. What can we do to make sure that moving forward, you're in a better situation than you were before? Like, I really want to be, and you have to, this is a big purchase. I mean, it's your house we're talking about. So I want to make sure that you are comfortable with me. I want to make sure I'm also comfortable with you. So that assessment call is very, very important for me to make sure I get you the right results. And then, so the next step after that is we're going to analyze the market that we're purchasing in, and we're going to present you with an offer. So on our side, we're just going to make sure we do our due diligence, and we make sure that we're going to give you a fair cash offer, and then we'll present you with that offer. And we'll present you with multiple offers, different, because not every single seller is in the same situation. So we want to make sure that we accommodate you as well. So we'll present you multiple different offers, different ways that we can purchase your home and still accomplish our goals that we talked about in the assessment call. And then the third step we'll go into is the final check. The final check is where we'll make sure that all our numbers check out. The property that we're buying is still, our contractors will go through there. They'll make sure everything's on the up and up, right? And then after that, we'll go to funding. And this is the most important part. This is the most exciting part. We'll meet at the closing table. You'll get your money. Obviously we'll get our property, and then we'll just kind of debrief and talk about your experience with us. So that's the seamless home selling process. It's 4 steps. Okay. That's our assessment call, presenting the offer, our final check, and funding. Simple as that. So we're able to do this. We've been able to do this without even come into contact with our homeowners, because obviously COVID, we want to limit contact. We're able to analyze over the phone. We're able to have you send us pictures of your home, of certain parts of the home. It's pretty simple. And we're also able to send the contracts via electronic signatures too as well. Our title company is also able to accommodate you as well with, closing documents all via electronic signature. So to wrap up, okay, we're here to accommodate you. We're here for you, right, to accommodate you. If you're in a situation to where you've asked yourself this question, and the question is, do you see your situation getting better or worse, and you see your situation getting worse, grab the bull by the horns and, put yourself in a better situation. If you're in a good situation, great. No need to, no need for us, right? No need for us. If you're in a good situation, great. But this is for those that feel like they need to be in a better situation. We're able to accommodate you with the seamless home selling process. We have all the tools and experience you need, and we'll love to help you out. Like I said, this is your boy IK with Just Close. I appreciate y'all listening, and have a great one.